The action across the Midwest is at a season high. Owen is not the only one to head into a great stand on the afternoon of November 9th. With the fresh coating of snow and cool temperatures, Justin Fabian heads back to the public land where he saw the mature buck the previous day.
Truck just said 22 degrees when I left. But it is nice going in light. No tree stands, no tree arms. Camera, tripod, bow, all the basic necessities. Nice change for a day. All right, so this tree right here over my shoulder is the tree we've been sitting in the last couple days. And I've been looking north into this thick draw right here. It's real thick and brambly here, as you can see, and just beyond that is the property boundary. And then just to the north of that fence line is a ton of standing corn. It's going on 1 o'clock right now, so I had action in here all day yesterday, like I said. And I'm just gonna try to slip through here nice and easy, get into a spot and set up for like an hour, whatever, just see what happens, rattle. If nothing produces, I'm just gonna move further down the draw, further into the timber. All right, guys, I found an awesome setup in here. This is actually exactly where I've heard all the chasing and all the grunting and everything coming from the last 2 days. We know they're down here, and I could not be happier with the fact that I pushed in here today to check this out. The good news is I know I'm gonna see deer tonight. Undoubtedly gonna see deer tonight. I could not be more excited. I have not been this excited about this much sign and seeing what's in here in a long time. That was insane. That buck was just right there at 3 yards. That was crazy. Just need a shooter to do that. That was awesome. That was the closest encounter I've ever had with a whitetail. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe that just happened. It is prime time and I just, a few seconds of rattling, a little bit of grunting, kicking the ground, and oh my gosh, he just came out of nowhere. Well, I saw him go down. I saw him through the binos. He's laying right there in the ditch. I need help though. I wish my buddies were here. Cooper, Josh, Drake, Dylan, Hunter, Quentin, everybody. I wish y'all were here. Look at this though. Look at this view. Man. Couldn't ask for a better ending. I just gotta go get some help. Get this guy out of here. I can't hardly move him by myself. I know he's down right here. I already had eyes on him earlier, like I said, so we're gonna get in here and go get some hands on him. Man, look at the neck on him. As I've been talking about all season, I'm a new resident to Iowa this year. This buck just represents so much for me, and to come in with the support of my wife and, you know, leaving New York, selling our house and moving halfway across the country, not knowing anybody except the people who interviewed me pretty much, and to come in on a piece of public ground and produce something like this is just, you know, that's the trophy in it for me. Every hunter gets to define his own trophy, and that's my definition of this one. That is a fact.
Every year, the rut has one window that stays open just long enough to feed our demand for adrenaline. And it wasn't just happening in Iowa. The next morning while hunting in Kansas, Logan Bouwman experiences the same rush, a cruising buck at close range.
Well, it's November 10 here in north central Kansas. Pretty exciting morning, to say the least. We didn't get a chance to put an interview together. We had bucks, I don't know, since first light, dark yet, and we had a couple nice ones go through. And we had a couple real nice bucks we've been targeting in here on our hit list. That wasn't one of them. But in this creek bottom, you never know what's going to come through here. You know, a lot of times there's just random ones cruising. A lot of corn up this year, and been hard to see bucks so far yet. What an exciting morning. A lot going on. Freaking pumped to see that. Have them drop right in front of us and right in view. Just a beautiful morning.
As Logan Bouwman celebrates the sweet culmination of an action-packed morning, back in Iowa, the adrenaline continues to flow as Caleb Mason also starts the day by hunting a bottleneck.
It's the morning of November 10th. Matt and Daddy and I are gonna sit half a day today. This is day 3 of our rut ventures. We've been out 3 days in a row here, and we did put eyes on one of our target deer, LT, and didn't expect for him to come in there. So unfortunately, we weren't able to, one, get very good footage of him, and two, get a shot. So. But it was great to lay eyes on him. Looks like a pretty good one. Where's he at? He's coming right down the tree line. Well, we just had a nice 8-pointer come through, and we elected to take him. I'm not sure what happened on the shot. It looks like it's a little low. I'm not sure what happened. I took my time. I thought I made a nice shot, but I think it was good left and right, just a little low. It's 11 o'clock now. We're going to go ahead and pull out of here. We've got some things to do, and then come back later this afternoon and see if we can pick up the blood trail. My arrow is laying over there. We could see it. So anyways, not super thrilled that this is the way that the hunt went this morning. Either way, that's the situation we're in, and so we're going to pull down, see if we can try to recover him this afternoon.
While Caleb waits to take up the blood trail on what appeared to be a perfect hit, 120 miles to the west, I spend the morning hunting what is normally one of my best spots. But now I am only biding my time until I can again hunt the buck that I call the Big 7.
I don't know. It's that 2-year-old.
The morning is uneventful, but it gives me time to think things over more carefully. I decide that my best play for the Big 7 is to move a trailer blind into the small cornfield on the fringe of the buck's range, a spot where dozens of deer have been feeding. Impatient to get started, I leave the morning stand early, just in time to catch a huge surprise on the walk out.
There he is. See him now?
Yep. It's a big deer.
Yeah. We were walking back to the truck, and I pulled off to the side here to check this little small bean field. And we saw some does, and then I saw some antlers rise up above the hill, and it's a really good buck in there, but it's a 4-year-old. I've got a bunch of pictures of him from this year, and I've got pictures of him from last year, so I'd say I'm 100% sure that he's a 4-year-old buck. But he sure looked good, golly. He was coming our direction, and I kind of panicked and jumped out of the way. And probably should have just held our ground and got some really good footage of him, but I didn't want to get caught out in the open, but the doe saw me. I'm not going to hunt that buck. I'll give him a chance to see how big he'll get.
Surprisingly, deer are quick to accept trailer blinds, especially when placed in a field shortly after the farmer pulls out with his combine. I decide to go right back on the ATV and hunt the new location that same evening.
When we were driving the blind in, believe it or not, at 11:45, there were probably 20 deer in this little, at the most, 3/4 of an acre patch of standing corn that got left here when Chad combined this. So we decided that as badly as they want to be in here, we're just going to take a risk that they're going to see the redneck blind as farm equipment. They're used to a lot of human activity around here, so we're going to hunt it right away. Actually, it makes a lot of sense because when we came in, we rode in on the four-wheeler and parked down by some junk cars that are down in this bottom. And again, my neighbor is in and out of here a lot on the four-wheeler. 100 yards, 125 yards away. Perfect. Snuck across the ditch and then up into the blind. There was already a deer and a bunch of turkeys back in the blind again by the time we got here, only maybe an hour and a half after we put it out here. So I think they're going to accept this blind here as just being farm equipment. I do like this. I like how we're matching the human activity to get away with something that otherwise would be really hard to do. I'm looking forward to this. This just feels good. It's just offbeat enough that I think this is going to work.
already coming up here.
She's had to have seen the blind.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're standing down there. They have to look at it. Might take a little while for it to get comfortable with us, but is it coming up?
Yeah. It's a fawn.
Yeah, it's weird. And none of these deer have actually sniffed. Lifted their noses up. You close the windows on these redneck blinds. It's like you're not even here. Oh, that was cool. Yeah. Dang, he's pretty dang nice. Yeah. That's a really big deer. Are you on him? Yeah. What is he? Is he so looks like a 9? A 9, okay. Might be that same deer or another comparable one to it. It might be our boy. Are you getting it? Yeah. I think that's him. Yeah. I would say so.
Just a minute ago or less, the buck that we're hunting, the big 7, showed up along the lower edge of the field. We just caught just a few seconds of him passing through there. Now the biggest dilemma is trying to get out of here at the end of legal shooting time. I mean, we're just completely covered up in deer. Come back again, tomorrow evening. I'm not going to hunt tomorrow morning. I'll be back in the blind or the stand again tomorrow afternoon.
As my son drives into the field in his truck to run the deer off so Quentin and I can get back to the four-wheeler, back in eastern Iowa, Caleb Mason takes up the blood trail.
Well, here we are. It's 5:30, so that's been quite an afternoon for us. This morning I hit a buck a little bit low, and we decided to leave. To be honest, I don't have high hopes. We kind of looked through some photos of anatomy and different things, and the last blood that we saw, it looked like lung blood, so a lot of bubbles and that in, but at best we're talking only hitting one lung, so I'm not sure if that's lethal or not, but we're gonna put in a good effort to see if we can find him, so that's what we're gonna do now.
Well, we've had it's been a rough one. So Caleb and I, you can just see from the last blood right here that there's just there's a big drop here right before it, and then we pretty much lost it. So we lost Caleb's deer, trailed it. We had one little speck every, I don't know what it was, probably 15-20 yards, and we came to a fork in the road, and we just completely lost his. So we might have to try coming back in the morning. I'll come back tomorrow when there's light, but it just doesn't look really positive right now. So, well, it's the next morning here. Decided to get up. My wife and I said, she said, hey, go down and give it one more try here this morning. So it's tough tracking in the dark. Still below freezing, so the snow hasn't melted yet, but it's going to get above freezing, so I'm going to try it one more time here. Not optimistic. We lost last blood last night, so really small dots, but again, we were in the dark as well, so I'm hoping that we can find something here this morning. I'm by myself. Gonna leave the camera back and just go and focus on finding blood, and I'll report back and bring the camera what I find. So okay, well, as you can see,
just tracked a long way, found some new blood. As you can see behind me, I tracked up a little bit ahead and found some, and then I looked over and he was laying right here. This is Caleb's deer. So Caleb's gonna drive down and we're gonna get him taken care of, get some photos, get an interview with Caleb. But you know, just really praising God right now for what he did here this morning. So thank the good Lord.
Well, we've had a change in the story here. Matt decided to come back out this morning. Just wasn't satisfied with our blood trailing effort last night, and ended up finding the deer. So we got a little bit of a drag job to get him out here. So we're going to be definitely sweating by the end of this, but well worth it. So appreciate Matt's effort, man. That guy just so impressed with his drive and determination, and that's what led. Just thrilled that that's how the story ended and wasn't a to be continued type of story.
Though Caleb had to work, Matt's search paid off. Now it's time to figure out what happened. The hit was almost perfect, but struck only one lung. Caleb's buck is proof that you can't assume anything until you exhaust every chance for recovery.
Not be more excited. I have not been this excited about this much sign and seeing what's in here in a long time.
Appreciate Matt's effort, man. That guy just so impressed with his drive and determination, and that's what led him back here.
Mike Reed continues the quest for his number one buck, a deer he calls Curly. Jared is starting to settle in on his best options and getting closer to putting right time and right place into the same sentence. Owen has shifted gears now and is focusing on a different buck, the one he calls Uno, hoping to make the most of the rut's final days. My own outlook is suddenly brighter. Now I know where I can finally gain the much-needed edge in my hunt for the Big Seven. Now I know where I can get him. Bowhunting the rut has a rhythm that you have to tune into. Some years it seems to click, and you make all the right moves, and some years the days are disjointed, like a machine with a key part missing. The difference is one we control through focus, creativity, and effort. We learn and adjust. The keen sense of the hunt is heightening. We are finally figuring this out, and though the days are winding down, we are optimistic. These next few days should be epic as we continue chasing November.